Right, y'all. There's more updates coming in from Irma. I tell you, this is a storm that just won't go away. Irma, I just got word from a relative. Jacksonville, Florida is flooding. It's already, parts of it's already flooded, but where they are, it's also flooded. And they said, they're in an apartment and said some of the windows in the apartment building are gone, been blown out by Irma. But they're okay. Their windows did not, but a few apartments down from them, their windows are gone. So right now, floods are being reported from Jacksonville, Florida, Savannah, Georgia, and Charleston, South Carolina are all experiencing floods. And now thousands of people in Georgia are experiencing a power outage as well. So I just wanted to give you this latest update because, again, I know in some of these places, especially like Jacksonville and Charleston, South Carolina, even Savannah, there's, quite a few Black people that live in those areas. So I will leave the link to this article in the description box just in case you want to hear it. But before I do that, I'm going to play the video.
Allison, so what are the big concerns right now and what's next for Irma?
Right. So the biggest concerns for Irma are going to be in this region right here, stretching from Charleston down towards Jacksonville, Florida. This is where we still have relatively high surge, very heavy rainfall, in addition to strong winds. And also, this is where our biggest threat for tornadoes is currently located. But you have to understand where the storm came from to know what to expect going forward. Look at some of the amounts of rain that have already been dropped in portions of Florida. Fort Pierce picking up nearly 16 inches of rain. Gainesville picking up over a foot, Naples, nearly a foot of rain. In addition to that, look at some of the areas of Georgia already, and it really just recently started to rain there. Kingsland, Georgia, picking up over 10 inches of rain already. Homeland, just about 8 inches of rain. And you have to keep in mind, for Georgia, the rain is still coming and likely will for the next several hours. So those numbers are going to go up. In terms of wind speed, we're not likely going to see numbers like this going forward, but they're still very impressive nonetheless. Naples picking up a wind gust of over 140 miles per hour. Marco Island picking one up at 130 miles per hour. Storm surge is still a concern for portions of Florida right now, mostly on the western coast of Florida. The highest being the region north of Tampa as you push in towards the Panhandle. But even around Tampa and Fort Myers, you could be looking at 2 to 4 feet or 3 to 5 feet, respectively. We're also talking about the region on the east. We talked about Charleston down through Jacksonville. We could be looking at storm surge in some of these areas of 4 to 6 feet. And again, in addition to that, we also have the concern of heavy rain because that's where some of the heaviest rain bands are right now is portions of southern South Carolina and southeastern Georgia. These red squares right here, those are the flood emergencies that we have. Flash flood threat still remains for those boxes, as well as the pink indicating a tornado warning. And that's going to be the case for much of the day today, where we have the potential for severe weather stretching from Wilmington, North Carolina down through Savannah, Georgia. The main threats are going to be damaging wind and, yes, the potential for some tornadoes throughout that region as the system moves north. We have a pretty intense amount of shear in this location. On the good side, that's helping to rip Irma apart layer by layer. The downfall is Wolf, that same shear is what's ramping up the threat for tornadoes for some of those states.
I tell you, Irma is one hell of a storm, y'all. It's one hell of a storm. Please leave your comment and subscribe. And if you can donate to my channel, please
very
do.
few people.
Peace, family.